Have you ever walked out of a conversation feeling strangely guilty, even though you can't clearly explain what you did wrong? No one raised their voice, no threats, just someone quietly speaking about their pain, and somehow you became the cause of it. If this feels familiar, stay a little longer, not to accuse anyone, but to look directly at a mechanism that is deeply human. Playing the victim is not weakness, it is a subtle survival strategy. The human mind is wired to avoid shame and guilt. When the ego feels threatened, when there is a risk of admitting fault, selfishness, or harm, the psyche looks for an escape route. The victim role is the safest one. As a victim, I don't have to take responsibility. As a victim, my pain justifies my behavior. As a victim, others must pause, must soften, must accommodate. At a deeper level, this behavior is driven by three primitive fears: the fear of abandonment, the fear of losing control, and the fear of being seen as not good. By positioning themselves as the wounded party, a person retains moral authority without having to face themselves. This is not always conscious. In fact, it rarely is. Most people who play the victim genuinely feel hurt, but feeling hurt and being harmless are not the same thing. Here is the uncomfortable truth. People who constantly play the victim are not always lying. They are simply telling the story from the only angle they can emotionally tolerate. They speak about their pain while omitting their role in creating it. They talk about what they lost while remaining silent about what others had to carry. And the most dangerous part, they don't need to manipulate you with words. They let your empathy do the work. You begin to question your tone, your timing, your intentions. You soften, not because you were wrong, but because they are hurting. And somewhere in that softening, your reality starts to shrink. What makes the victim card so powerful is not manipulation. It is emotional immunity. Once someone positions themselves as the injured party, any attempt to question them looks like cruelty. If you push back, you are insensitive. If you explain yourself, you are defensive. If you set boundaries, you are abandoning them. And slowly, accountability becomes impossible. Here's the part most people don't want to face. Chronic victims are not powerless. They are protected. Protected from self-reflection, protected from guilt, protected from the quiet discomfort of seeing their own impact on others. Pain becomes their shield, not because they enjoy suffering, but because suffering grants them safety. This is not a story about bad people. It is a story about unresolved pain that learned to survive by outsourcing responsibility. When someone cannot hold both truths, I was hurt and I also hurt others, they collapse into a single identity, the victim. And identity, once formed, resists change. Real strength is not found in never being wounded. It is found in the rare capacity to sit with discomfort without turning it into moral leverage. To say, yes, this hurt me, and still ask, what did I do next? That question is where growth begins. If you recognize yourself on the other side, as the one who keeps yielding, apologizing, shrinking, there is nothing wrong with your empathy. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It simply needs a boundary. Understanding someone's pain does not require you to carry it for them. You are allowed to care without disappearing. Notice how often pain is used as proof of innocence in others and in yourself. Not to judge, not to confront, just to see. If you feel drawn to exploring the silent dynamics that shape human behavior beneath words and intentions, Stay here. Some truths don't ask for agreement, only presence.